Each year I try to do a little something different for Pi Day. Sometimes it's measuring and just a classroom activity, and other times it's a little bit bigger. So this year I tried to do an escape room. It kind of came about from an idea I had last year at this time, and started developing it, and then Dr. Reinheimer offered a class in escape room, so that kind of fit real well with it. And so I kind of developed it in that November in service, and we just kind of went from there. So, you know, Dr. Reinheimer was kind of like the catalyst for the escape part of this, the escape room part of this. The premise was that there's a teacher who retired years ago, and he's still in the building from time to time, and nobody knows exactly why or where or what's going on. So we developed a whole story, a whole backstory with the television studio, doing some segments that a former teacher is still in the building and actively is here, and he has a secret office someplace. And so the students were trying to figure out where that secret office was. They were given a sealed or a locked briefcase, and then a folder of miscellaneous papers that were reportedly left behind at one of the doors one evening. So they had to first figure out the combination for the briefcase, and it was Pi because it was Pi Day, and they had clues within their paperwork to help them to figure that out. Once they got the briefcase open, there were clues to Locker Pi 3141, and then once they got there was a key in the locker that opened a pouch that they had in the briefcase. And from there it directed them to room 214. Now 214 had a storage closet, and with the help of Mrs. Reichwein, she took an existing bookcase and enlarged it so that it covered the entire door. And so when they came into the room, there was nothing there, and they had to figure out that behind the bookcase there was a secret door. There was a key then for that on the bookcase. They had to figure out where. And then once they opened this storage room, there was an office that had a desk, but it also had a microwave, and it had a refrigerator, and it had a bed. So it gave the appearance that somebody had actually been living in this secret room. I had a lot of help for this. The nurses allowed me to borrow one of their beds. The bio department had a refrigerator for some of their experiments that they were kind enough to lend to me. Like I said, Mrs. Reichwein was integral in getting the bookcase built, the secret bookcase. And then the television studio, Mrs. Merja, gave me lots of props, and they did these video segments that ran prior to Pi Day, so the kids were kind of anticipating something was going on. So I had that set up in the room, and then they all got oatmeal cream pie for Pi Day. So they really liked that. I had some alternative snacks for kids that had allergies and things, but came off pretty well. They seemed to enjoy it, and hopefully we can do something similar another time. It was a really fun day for the students to kind of get away from math, specifically doing the algebra that we normally do. And one of my students even commented, it was nice not doing math for a day. And I said, well, you were actually doing a lot of math, thinking about things and the critical thinking skills. They prefer to think of it as not doing math.